you're about ready for this new start now that it's already kicked in, mind. It's a good job that you're ready for it after it's begun. Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is a general reading for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, whatever area of your chart you're wanting to look at. And if you are unfamiliar with your rising or your moon sign, for example, there is a link there's two links in fact in the description down below to different sites where you can get yourself a free birth chart. You will need your time and place of birth as well, but if you're watching me, you probably already know that. So, being a general reading, as you've heard me say before, general reading rules apply. Timing is far from absolute. This is a reading that either is for you or it isn't. There is a past and a present in the spread. So if the past and the present don't fit, don't try and make it fit. Just go and watch your rising or your moon sign. Now, if someone else appears in the reading, which as far as I can tell rarely happens, with my readings anyway, then I can get, well, as they say, roles can be reversed. Theoretically, I can get you and them mixed up. I haven't seen it happen yet, but let me know if it does. Now, what I would like you to do is ask a question prior to me starting this reading. Think about all of the issues that are around you at the moment and focus upon one of them. Be aware of all of them, because the cards will answer whatever they please to and not necessarily what you and I think is the most important question. However, focus on that question and that gives energy to the process, which hopefully I will return to you in the terms of a reading that's useful for you. And if I don't, somebody will. The universe will find a way. So in terms of housekeeping, there is a link also down below for the Facebook page for this channel. And basically I post these videos on there because, well, obviously. But I also post all of the astrology videos that I watch, you know, like the weather forecast type videos. Those, I try to make the page a bit of a one-stop shop. So you will see like a Cheetah Bava or an Anastasia Cosmic Astrologer or Astrology Hub, Astrology Podcast, Rick Levine, Stormy Grace, Nadia Shah, various others whose name escaped me, but I could probably, Ksenia Moore, Astrology with Heather, Astrolada. Yeah, you get the picture. There's a lot of them, but there's Rick, R-I-K, Rick. Rick is a favourite of mine. Mind you, so are all the others. That's why I follow them almost religiously. But importantly, there is also an inbox on that page. So if you want to contact me for a personal reading, that's one of the main ways to do it. In fact, that is the main way to do it. You can get me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram now as well. I upload these recordings to Instagram as well. I've no idea what's good and what's bad on Instagram because I'm still getting my head around it. But if you're on YouTube, feel free to like the video because it helps it get seen. And a subscribe really helps the channel. But see the reading first before you make your mind up on either of those. But I will remind you at the end. Well, I assume I will anyway. Right, that's enough waffling for me. That's 3.5 minutes already. So let's get into what you came for and bring the cards up. If the computer will listen to me. Come on, computer, you can do it. There you go. So what I really like, I'm just going to point out a few points to you here. The underlying energy of the spread, the central card, that underlying theme of what you are going through right now, the Ace of Cups. It's with this particular Ace of Cups out of the Gilded Tarot, it tells me that things are going through a cycle. And interestingly, you can see how the shadow changes side on these moons, almost as if there's a hidden new moon right in the middle. But there is a dream, a love, and what I'm really thinking is that there is an overflowing that is underneath this reading while you are in a position of assigning value to, and balance, but value to things in your life. I haven't looked at all the undercards yet, so we'll get to whatever they're talking about. But I do feel like you're rebuilding. We have the Eight of Cups here. So it's almost like you've recently gone, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm walking away. I want to choose something different. And that is after a lot of self-examination and no shortage of arguments or conflicts, which of course you wouldn't because you're Aquarius, and therefore you were right and you won. And that's what the Five of Swords here, it's indicating the presence of conflicts, but this particular Five of Swords, he's been victorious and he has claimed his one sword and has picked up a few more along the way, and this has set you on a path that has caused you to re-examine quite a few things that were worth a lot to you, and re-examine certain things where, how do I phrase that? It's you have re-examined areas where you hold power, and some of them you've gone, yeah, I don't want that power anymore. And others of them, I think you may have had the realization of, oh, I didn't realize I had power there. Oh, I best be careful, or be more careful. Now, transformation is offered to you. Well, to use the phrase, transformation with knobs on is offered to you. There is a lot of transformation here. And I'll point it all out to you. We have from the Mausolea, El Shaddai, the Radiant Lord, who represents like a loving father figure, someone you can turn to advice, but also pretty much the love of God. You know, what a strange vehicle going past. That divine love coming through to fill everything. I'm really picking up on that sense of the Radiant Lord. And whereas other names of God can, well, quite frankly, get my back up because they're a bit authoritarian, there is something magical and mystical and almost Tolkien elvish with El Shaddai. It's one that even the vibration of the word just gives me a nice tingle, a good tingle. Now we have beneath that Plato, someone who believes that that the universe itself is alive, that spirit was here before the universe, that you existed before you came into body, also gives ideas and concepts their own independent existence, of which they are transmitted through artists rather than being the creation of artists. Ideas and concepts that are just as much an expression of the universe as they are and more even than they are an expression of the artist that channels them. Very much a bringing in that sense of learning, of growing, of merging with something greater and never losing your individuality in the same place. We have the altar priestess, preparation, prayer and sacred ritual. The altar priestess is someone who brings those moments of transcendent moments of transcendence to the public, to the 3D world, by creating those rituals. We have Aibamia of the Shema Meferash with alchemy and transformation. And also, what I really like is the angel card for this reading. the guardian angel of spiritual growth. The way I become spiritual is simply to become myself. We have choices from the wisdom of the House of Night. This is something where you can decide to grab hold of this, or you can walk away. But whatever is going on for you, there is a huge learning opportunity. A huge learning and growing if you integrate the energies that are around you at the moment. And we have from the Angelarium the card of Chokmah, the second emanation, top of the right hand pillar of the tree of life, wisdom. So it's taking the information that you already know, that you're already aware of, and like I said, integrating it, using it. Knowledge without wisdom is just data. Wisdom is using that knowledge in an appropriate form. Now, this is taking on a burden. You're aware of a burden. You may be guided to it. 4 of Cups on the bottom of the first deck. 10 of Wands on the bottom of the second. But it's plainly obvious to you what this burden is and how you should take it on board, with the third deck, the Tarot Z, being Ace of Swords, clarity, followed immediately by the Knight of Wands, so wanting to surge forward. So let's dive into the actual tarot, like I say. So, preparation for spiritual evolution experience, alchemy and transformation, wisdom, making a choice that you're going to grab or not. El Shaddai giving you that loving environment, giving you the advice, giving you somewhere, someone who can go, yeah, come on, you can do it. And Plato, I mean, how much of our modern knowledge is even based on Plato? I'm going to read a little something from the Plato book. An enthusiastic and talented student of Socrates, Plato shared his teacher's belief in the pre-existence and immortality of the soul. Emotionally, Plato advocates self-awareness of the heart's innate goodness and experiencing deep love through partnerships, family and romantic connections. He raises the heart's vibration, eliminating deep-seated fears, and enhances the ability to manifest our true desires into fruition. He reminds us that we are born naked into an unknown world, and through life we make our own realities. He's crown chakra linked, and he points to the sky and teaches us the importance of living an intuitively guided life. And you have been intuitively guided recently. Now with El Shaddai, a shining god of wisdom and kindness, El Shaddai and the court of the Elohim represent the inclination towards good in mortals. As such, he's a balance of Abaddon and has the respect of and awe of all, including the other gods. In El Shaddai, find the beneficial aspects of the devoted father figure, a source to turn when seeking the most correct and wisest course in any proposed action. So maybe you are needing some form of advice or guidance. But what is really coming through with me is that radiance that they are talking about. Because after having walked away from certain types of power and become aware of other types of power that you may be exhibiting, you have made the decision to go on a quest to get to a better place, I think is the best way to put it. We have 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Swords. You are assigning value to what is useful for you and what is not useful for you. And you are finding it an abundant process. It's almost like you're not getting out new, but you are finding new value, 6, in those things that you already have, and finding that there is greater abundance and fertility, Empress, around you, which is filling you with a divine love. It looks like you're going to be having some form of spiritual or religious experience, because we have the Ace of Cups leading you to listen to a guiding voice and make plans, which brings you fully into rising up your own power. And then right now, for those of you who know numerology, there is a huge vibration of 6 or 8 or angel number 66 here in your present surface level. But we're moving into the vibration of 8. 8 of that 8 of cups, that walking away from certain forms of power and becoming aware of other forms of power, is the start of a process that should last a while, which should pick up with speed, showing 10 of Pentacles, showing where there really is true happiness that is already there around you. So we're not having like anything new come in, you know, no wonderful new lover or lottery win or what have you. It's like seeing your current world with new eyes. But it really changes your point of view. Death card here. So it's really showing something completely new, and you are seeing where you have imprisoned yourself previously, but also it's almost like you are offering a bit of your life up for sacrifice to go, Now, I'm not saying whether that sacrifice is taken or accepted. We have 8 of Swords, King of Cups, and the Fool. You're about ready for this new start now that it's already kicked in, mind. It's a good job that you're ready for it after it's begun. But now that it's kicked in, you are ready for this new start. There are still some restrictions that you have to remove, but they have been placed around you by yourself to remind you of important things, and they are either to remind you of your talents and your skills, or maybe to remind you that don't put your hand on the cooker, ouch, Bernie. You know, so that some fears are there of common sense. You know, don't put your hand on a hot oven hob, or grab a burning coal. You know, there's a big difference between a firework and poking the bonfire or a fireplace with your hand. But there's with the 8 of Swords, I often find there's a sense of this person in the middle levitating these swords around her own, by her own mind. I'm not getting that this time. I'm getting the sense of the swords have been placed around her. I mean, look at them. They are beautiful. They are sending magic dust, sort of Disney magic dust light down into the ground around her. They've got beautiful blue jewels around them. So it's all about speaking out and giving her the words to speak out. Now, she doesn't feel scared or trapped in the middle. She doesn't feel like she's waiting. It's almost like, I've bound my wrists. If you want to free my wrists, free them. If you want me to keep these bracelets on, don't free them. Okay, let's see what happens. And you are sacrificing various fears to come into a realm where you finally do give up a few things that you've started already. That 8 of Cups again. But again, now you're giving things up for a reason. You are giving things up to make a change, to start things moving. You are giving things up to come to a point where you are an equal with your peers. And I think you will end up being surprised who your peers actually end up being. But also, now I've not had that from this card before. It's also like you are showing your peers a way. Notice he's got his back to the door on this card, but I don't think that he's just come through the door and it's closing behind him. I think he's just like knocked the door open with his backside and is going to everyone, look, this way. Not had that from that card before. It's almost like everyone's been shouting at him, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. There's nothing beyond that door, yeah? There you go. See the garden, see the world that's outside there. Come on. So that you are bringing something along. Now, obviously with the 2 Eight of Cups and this Eight of Swords, there's things to let go of at the moment. And that is where there is a warning, because from the Moonology Oracle deck, you've got don't let pride get in your way. But as you are assigning value at the moment, you're aware that things are changing, and things are changing quite dramatically. Yes, you are 6 of Discs, so again, assigning value, but also there's I do get a feeling with that of, do I really have to do this? Do I really have to assign all that? Yes, because if you don't, you miss some of the magic. You are not assigning value on a level where you're going, that's worthless, that's worthless, that worthless, that worthless. You're going, actually, this is a really nice piece of my life. This is, ooh, shiny, you know, or tasty, or comforting, or just really sweet, or but there is information that's coming in. It's almost like you want to give information to somebody, but you're like, do I? But I think, yes. I think you'll find if there's someone you are wanting to give the information to, they're way ahead of you. You're the Page of Swords here. They're the Knight of Swords. They're racing ahead. Definitely racing ahead. Chariot. So two of the fastest cards in the deck. The only other one to mention would be the Eight of Wands, which we've already seen, and that's on your side. And then finally the Three of Cups, indicating celebration, obviously, with him, and power of friendship, but also here, news coming in. I've had that before with the Three of Cups, indicating about news coming into the world, coming into your world. It's almost like whoever you are wanting to talk to, they are waiting for that news. Now, let's go further back, because I see a wonderful partnership here where you, Two of Cups, where you had learnt you had learnt a lot through that relationship. I'm not saying that the other person didn't learn a lot either. You know, I think there's a two-way thing. There was certainly one person took the role of teacher, the other person took the role of student, and then maybe things switched. So, you know, it's not like one was permanently teacher and one was permanently student. It's like maybe mornings one was teacher and evenings the other one was teacher, or you know what I mean. The normal push and pull of a relationship. Let me just go and grab that card now. I've thrown it. Now, what was it? So this is the Queen of Pentacles. So this was something that you nurtured, but all the time that you were nurturing that relationship, you are also growing towards your own inner light. Queen of Pentacles again. And Two of Wands. So as much as there was this partnership, this relationship, this communication, you were being focused more and more and more upon yourself. And I mean that in a good way. You know, as in, where is my inner light? How do I manifest my inner light? How am I being in the world the person that I want to be? So that is a process that carries on. Hermit again. You were supposed to be going through that realm, and you were surging forward in a way of, yes, it was the spoils of war that you were picking up. So whatever I was saying earlier, I can't remember now, but it is the spoils of war that you are picking up. But it's almost like there's a war within yourself, because you spent so long in a time of confusion years ago that it took hitting rock bottom to hear the voice of going, here's how to move forward, here's where the dream is. And so I think what these two, because these two piles represent a relevant past where you've learned a lesson that you're using for good or for ill at the moment. Now, I think here you are being reminded that you've heard that still silent voice before, and what it's wanting to point out to you is that recently you've been listening to that voice all along. That's the voice that has been talking to you. That's the voice that has been telling things. And very soon you come to the concluding point of the wisdom that you have been learning, being given. But pride can get in your way. You have to make the choice to go, yes, I'm going to change. Yes, I'm going to lose that. And yes, I'm going to use this that I have more. So it's not that you're gaining, it's that there's something that's within your possession, some aspect of your life you are going to utilize to a greater extent. So the fact that you've lost something that you already have expands to fill that space, rather than there a void being left or necessarily something new coming in, because that's okay. At the moment, less is more, you know, to sound very, or what's she called, Marie Kondo, less is more on this point. So, fears. The fear seems to be that you stick to the same old and stick in the same old power structures, and it's just going to lead to the same old battles. That's a healthy fear. Nothing wrong with that. Keep having that fear, or even better, do something about it. And like I say, don't let pride get into your way of this transformation that is coming, because it's one that promises. I mean, it's a lot of lone self work. It is a matter of achieving the right balance between material concerns and that divine influence and that independent streak. Because here we have a squirrel talking to the lady in the garden of the Nine of Pentacles. Now, a hooded squirrel at that. I have no idea what the hood's about. But that could be the voice of the divine. But that could also be the voice of the real world, with the squirrel representing nature and the physicality of where we are. But this is something that you're okay with. But remember, the Nine of Pentacles is a very independent card, but it's a 9. It offers a rebirth. To me, the Nine of Pentacles is not so much a total rebirth. Now, I suppose the best analogy I could use for this would be Doctor Who. Yeah, my geek's showing. But the 5th Doctor, played by Peter Davidson, his regeneration was a bit iffy to start off with, and he had to go into this place within the TARDIS called the Zero Room to meditate and stabilize his new regeneration, or new incarnation would probably be a better way to phrase it. And it's almost like, yeah, you need to go into your own Zero Room so that you can come back out of your own Zero Room as well and go, yay, finished, you know, I'm feeling okay about things. Because it does appear like there's a chance that the world is moving a little too fast for you at the moment. And the fact is that that's okay that the world is moving that fast. And yes, absolutely right, you need to keep up. But the way that you can keep up is by stepping outside it every now and again, just to go, here is my Zero Room. Let me just let all the bits of me settle, and all the things that all the, you know, the pressures and the thoughts and the ideas and the guilts and the shames and the what have you that you need to let go of, or do something about, or both. You need your own Zero Room so every now and again, so that you can keep up with the changes that are going on, because there is a lot of changes going on. Things around you will maintain to be changing fast. So it's important that you have made plans just to keep your home base safe. And your home base is just as much your heart and your sanity as it is your home. You know, yeah, you lock the doors at night, you turn on the burglar alarm when you go out, you make sure the candles are out, because you're watching one of my videos, you probably burn candles. You do what you can to keep your home safe, and you need to do the same in here, and to a point here, here, and here, all 4 chakras there. Now, with this effort, there is a form of wish fulfillment and rebirth again coming in for you, which is something that you have to plan for and be ready to receive. When your ships come in, be ready to receive the goods that they bring. But I do think that there's a newfound freedom that you will have as long as you know, as long as you have mastered these anxieties that are coming up really soon. 8 of Swords in this position, 8 of Swords that you're about to go into. So, to summarise, I would say you're probably about to go into quite a stressy anxiety time. And the reason is for you to sit there with your notepad and pen, because you've had the value. You've seen where you have power and you didn't realise before. And you've seen where you've had power and you're happy with that. And you've seen where you've had power and you don't want that. Now what comes next is you see where you have fears. And you can see where you have a fear of something that, you know, what's the point of being scared of that? You can see where you have a fear of something of, oh, actually, no, that's quite a sensible fear. I do not stick my hand on a hot oven hob. That's a sensible fear. But you also, you need to make sure that neither of those 2 fears are limiting you. So how does the sensible fear not limit you? Well, if you've got to go somewhere, you don't go to that place by vaulting over an oven where the hob is on, and therefore you're not going to burn your hands. You go round. You know, as simple as that. There's going to be some form of coping strategy, or accepting the wisdom of a couple of those fears, because they are wise. You know, it is fear that stops us getting run over every time we leave the house. It's fear that makes you look both ways before you cross the road. And you don't feel scared at that point. Some fears are genuine and they encourage caution. And here's where you're being shown soon where the various fears are. But this is all in point of, as I say, with Ibamia, alchemy and transformation. That is it's going to be hard work, but it's going to be hard work that's great. You know, it's going to be every night going to sleep thinking, huh, look at what I learned today. I didn't know that before, and I didn't know that, and I didn't know I could do that, and I didn't know that was limiting me, and I didn't know I had power there, and I didn't know that I really don't need any power there. So every day's a new revelation. With every day being a new revelation, you need to get yourself into your own little 0 room every now and again and just go, and I mean, I suppose I'm saying go and meditate. Not everybody meditates. Just sit and be and relax and just let all the various thoughts roll around in your head without investing in any of them. Imagine it's like a pea grading machine. The larger peas will go into the holes for the larger peas. The smaller peas will go through the layers a bit further till they get to the right place. So it's just letting your thoughts settle where they need to, and then just getting rid of the ones that you find a bit useless. Thank you. That's really nice, Aquarius. It's hard work, but it's really nice. So if this means anything to you, if you've got this process being, I'm trying to use the word underway. If it's underway for you at the moment, that's how I need to say it. If it's underway for you at the moment, comment down below if you want to. And otherwise, your new moon readings will be the next ones that I'm working on. And then straight after that, I'll be going back to the monthlies to start my Chinese zodiac. I haven't had the free time this October as I thought I would do, which is sort of good news and sort of not. So it depends how you look at it. Like I say, it's all that matter of balance, isn't it? Right. See you at the end of the week for the new moon, I assume. Cheers.